Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to cover the most important question of, I guess, my career. Why self-publishing? All right, so first, self-publishing is where the writer or the author is doing all the legwork for everything in the book, writing, editing, marketing, promoting, all that stuff. If they're skilled enough, they'll do the artwork and all that stuff for the book too. But basically, you're the one-man army if you decide to go the independent author route. So that's what it is. Um, and to go along with that, Amazon and Barnes and Noble, they do have like their own little programs to where you can go through them to do their stuff. But I think what I have found uh, best in doing this book is to use the Amazon platform because it's really user friendly. And then once everything was finalized on my KDP account, then I went over to Ingram Spark, and they have a thing where you can just transfer your book from Amazon to them. And I believe on Ingram Spark, if you want to go back and make changes to your book, you kind of have to like pay a little fee for that. But with Amazon, you don't really have to do that. At least not that I've experienced anyway. So yeah, that's what I did. I did everything on Amazon, and then when I was done and ready to push the book out, I transferred it to Ingram Spark, and everything's been fluid since then. So why am I choosing to walk the path of a independent author? Personally, going through 2 decades of being in the military, I can tell you right now, I am probably addicted to working and being productive. And the fact that I get to work all the aspects of the book keeps me busy, and I like that. And I am still a little open to do like traditional publishing, but to kind of go along with my 2 decades of military time, uh, I actually do not want to work under anybody ever again for the rest of my life, and that's the way that's gonna be. So, so I guess one thing I liked about being an independent author, I actually did not go spend thousands of dollars on a college education because, quite honestly, there's really no need if you're trying to learn the English language. Yeah, I'm struggling myself. But yeah, learning the English language, you don't need to go to college for that because, I mean, I got, if you can go look up some Reader Digest books to help you out. Like, I know this one's like character names and stuff. That one was really helpful. But I mean, they got books on plot and structure and all sorts of things. So, knowing how to write, I mean, let's see. This plot and structure book was like $19. So, this and the other books that kind of go along with it, you're looking maybe at $100 to learn everything that you need to know about writing and getting a good story, put together. I kind of did things backwards because, I do have some experience being a storyteller for like Dungeons and Dragons and vampires. So I more got this and the other books to go with it, just to make sure that I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. And I'm not trying to sound arrogant or anything, but I did like that. I'd probably say about 85% of the stuff that I was doing was right. And then, of course, these books helped fill in the last little bit that I needed to figure stuff out. Let's see. So, I guess one thing about being self-published and not going through a education system, is like trying to find your writing style. And obviously the only way to do something is to do it continuously and repeatedly until it fleshes itself out. So you got to do that. Like, if you're trying to write books or stories or whatever, you got to keep writing stories to get that stuff to get etched in stone, so everything will look, nice, and there won't be as much of a lack of continuity in what you're putting down on the paper, that sort of stuff. Um, yeah, I got my 2 decades of military time in, so I can tell you that my writing is very action and detail oriented, and that kind of also goes back to being a dungeon master myself. But my three favorite authors, R.A. Salvatore, Raymond Feist, and Drew Karpyshyn, I have no doubts that those three men have influenced the way that my writing goes. So with all that in there, that is probably where my writing style is. So in this new day and age, being an indie author, and I know there are some people out there that kind of turn their eyes away from it and they think it's the devil and all that stuff, but for the illustrations in this book, I did use AI. All right. And the pictures that are inside the book, I used AI, and there's a little disclaimer on the information page in there. I used AI to come up with images to represent the characters that are in there, and it's great as an indie author to have AI as a resource because, like me personally, I'm doing this with like little to no budget. I am sacrificing putting money into my savings account so I can promote and get this, book out to you guys and promote it and all that stuff. And yeah, it hurts sometimes. But it's the nature of the beast. And what can I say? I got to keep pushing until this thing takes off, because at the very end of this, after I get done with the last main volume, I'm going to go pitch this shit to Hollywood. Like, that is where I'm shooting for. So, I did draw something in the beginning for the cover, and then I used AI to turn it into this high definition image that's on there. So it was kind of a joint venture between myself and the AI to get that done. I did do the map. I got my poster board with it on there. The original is sitting on the wall behind it, but you can go view the whole thing digitally on my website if you want to scan around and look at it and whatnot. Some of the things that have also helped me with this self-published thing, aside from writing and learning how to write and all that stuff, I did have prior experience with video editing, which helps with YouTube. But my experience with video editing also goes back to the time of the VHS. So yeah, that makes me old. And I don't know if I could really describe it very well, but today you can just plug your phone in or whatever and just upload a video and crop and chop however you need to. Back in the day, you had to take this VHS tape, put it into this giant machine, and gosh, there must have been like 2 keyboards on that thing, and like, ugh. Things are a lot better now. We'll just leave it at that. You know, I also know how to do website coding. I know how to run like a lot of the Adobe programs, because honestly, they haven't changed all that much in the last 20 years because they have been around that long. But yeah, back to the map. That is something that I drew myself. It took me 3 to 4 months to do. The way, the reason why I had to hand draw it, there's this program called Campaign Cartographer that I was using for like D&D games. And the Sword Kingdom area that you see on the map, that was the first section of the continent that I had. And then after I started to begin writing the book, I was like, well, I got to develop the rest of these areas. So I went into the campaign cartographer, did up the maps, the different regions in there. And then, you know, one day I wanted to combine all of them to connect them all. And that program wasn't as friendly with my endeavor. So I was like, you know what? We're going to just tape these on a giant piece of paper and we're going to draw this out. And that's what happened. So yeah, some other resources. Obviously, I showed some of my Writer Digest books. These things are very helpful resources, making sure that you are doing the stuff that you're supposed to be doing to make your product as best as possible, obviously. And then, where'd it go? I don't know. I got a dictionary. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Definitely got to have one of these lying around. So if you don't have one of these and you're trying to write, well, you need to stop writing and go get one. That is why I have chosen self-publishing, what goes into it. And yeah, it has been a long road, let me tell you. But yeah, I think that's all we have for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Go check out my channel, subscribe to it, look at my other videos. We're going to keep going until the end. So, as always, have a good day. All right, guys, if you haven't done so already, go pick up my book, The Tides of Kadavar. It is a mix of light and dark fantasy set in a classic style world. And I would also like to give a shout out to the Beard of Darkness Reviews and the Indie Fantasy Club for reaching out to me about presenting my book on their channels. So I will put their tags at the description below. Go check them out.